Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, what is up? The King of Lightning is here today, bringing you guys and gals, as always, Ushio to Tora episode reviews. Today, episode 4 of Ushio to Tora. Now, if you haven't seen the episode yet, there'll be a link in the box below on crunchyroll.com where you can view for yourself legally, or go on the web, do whatever the fuck you gotta do in order to see it. I'm pretty sure there's some good torrent sites, like for example, there's and you can go there, download that shit, and watch for yourself. Again, do whatever you gotta do as long as you see it. Now, this episode of Ushio to Tora shocked me in many ways. But first of all, number one, alright, the animation. Animation overall, yeah, it was good. In fact, there were a few scenes that they actually changed the animation style to fit either comedic or serious purposes. Like, for example, when you had Inoue, she was actually harmed by the Gamins, the demons of this particular episode. And you have Tora see that, her wounds, he freaks the fuck out. And when he freaks the fuck out, they change the animation style to where it's like hand-drawn, very sharp, and sketchy. But it was good, like, because you could feel the intensity of Tora at that point in time. So the animation, I think, was good through and through. When it came to the pacing, very simple. You have the Gamin family, and for the most part, the Gamin family, they're the Hitoban family. They're Gamin demons, whatever it is. And for the most part, they were sealed like 100 plus years ago, at least, right? During the Meiji era. And, okay, so that's way more than 100 years. But, okay, you get my point here. They were sealed a long, long time ago. Okay? Not in a galaxy far away, but in Japan. Nippon, Banzai. And whatever. Here's the thing. They were sealed by a priestess, excusez-moi. And the priestess looks like Inoue. And basically, they're revived when these construction workers decide to remove this giant stone that was sealing them. They run amok. They start consuming people and whatnot. And then it's Ushio and it's Tora trying to stop them. Ushio gets taken out for the most part fairly early on. And it's mainly Tora doing most of the work. And then it ends off with them succeeding in saving Inoue and many people in the process. Now, let me tell you what threw me off. Not in a bad way, but in a good way. Because I didn't expect that this series would go along this nature. And that is the violent scenes in this episode, where it was a lot of consuming people, body parts laying around, blood splatter. I'm like, whoa. It caught me off guard for a second. And I'm like, it wasn't like massively gory, don't get me wrong, but at the same time, it was enough to where it really did set a serious tone. Where like, whoa, people like just some random lady was like walking down the street in the middle of a city, and she was on her phone and her head got eaten off like that. So there was some lady in a car, she got eaten, like for the most part, like most of her body was consumed by these Gamins. And like, you see her husband or her brother, whatever, in the car freaking the fuck out. I was like, whoa, wait, what the what? Like so it sets, and then again, it's not that gory, but it does set a serious tone to the events that occur. And also future events, because these demons are like low-tier demons. Guarantee you there's going to be some high-end demons that are going to come around that are going to cause a lot of havoc and chaos. Guarantee you that. Now, what also kind of surprised me was how you have the old man talk about the Gamins and how they were sealed, and how he goes over like how his grandfather or his great-grandfather had basically seen the priestess who sealed the demons. And that's where this whole thing started, where I guess his family were the watchdogs over the Gamins, just how the Aotsuki family were the watchdogs over Tora. Now, they both failed, mind you, but it just shows you that there are other families out there that are the watchdogs of demons. So like certain demons that were sealed, like, you know, during that Meiji era, probably still are, they probably are still sealed, and these families have been watching over them and they get this intel through word of mouth, right? Through like you have the grandfather talked about the demon and whatnot, and how it's like a family legacy thing, like just how you had Ushio's father pretty much have that story about the spear, and you don't go in the basement and whatnot. Like it was actually like a family motto, like don't open the door to the basement. So these type of things are going to be prevalent in the story in the series, and I can see that as clear as day. Now, the next thing was seeing how how Tora, he couldn't really eat any of the people that were walking around the city. Like, you would think that it was like a freaking buffet. Like, oh shit, humans, like die right in there. But no, couldn't eat them all. Because some humans had cologne or perfume on, and you can't stand the smell. But other folks had metals. They had certain metals that yokai don't like. So earrings, watches, necklaces, they didn't like it. Or at least he didn't like it. That threw me off. I'm like, really? So yokai don't like certain metals? And that actually stopped him from eating. Mind you, he's 500 years deep. And he couldn't eat them because of the metals. But at the same time, there was a weird, like, counter incident to this notion where you had the Gamins, they were consuming humans like left and right. Like it didn't matter. In fact, they were eating through metal. They didn't care. Like the construction workers, they were on their machinery, and the Gamin would take out the construction workers plus a chunk of the machinery, which is obviously metal, steel. So maybe it's certain types of metals that yokai can't consume or they hate. But at the same time, the Gamins are probably different because the Gamins are from the Hitoban family. Apparently, according to Torah, he actually recalls the Gamins. And he knows that they're from the continent. So when he says a continent, I'm assuming like China or Korea. And this also makes you think these people were actually humans originally. Like, they're not full-blooded yokai. Like, they're half yokai, something like that. So that's my assumption. So maybe the reason why they actually eat humans without worrying about the metal is because they're not fully yokai. They're half yokai. I'm not too sure if Inoue is actually the ancestor of Hizaki. She could be. But what is also very obvious is the fact that Ushio himself does not have enough skill. He's nowhere even close to attaining a level of skill to where he can actually take out yokai consistently by himself. Skill and also knowledge. Because in episode 2, when you had the giant centipedes, I think it's episode 2. Yeah, episode 2, the giant centipedes. And how you had Ushio, he had the power to stop them, but he would have gotten there gung-ho. It was Tora who told him, aim for the left eye, or the right eye, whichever eye it was. That's their weakness. When it came to episode 3, and how he was trying to attack the, the father who was in the painting, the demon. It was stated by Tora that he is taking in humans, and you can't attack him up until he's actually fully in the painting. So there are certain things that Ushio has to come to know in the future if he wants to be successful in protecting his friends and others around him, because as I see it, these demons are going to stop coming for various reasons. So in this episode, it was mainly Tora doing his thing. But Tora himself is actually weakened because it's been 500 years since he's actually eaten a human being. So Tora himself, he's displaying phenomenal power, but he's in a weakened state. So at some point, in order to actually attain, there's no way that they're going to be able to actually last if Tora can't consume human flesh. Maybe the burger will suffice. I kind of doubt it because he's a demon. So, he wasn't, as far as I see it, back in that era, the demons, they weren't craving cattle. They weren't craving other animals, but human beings. So the same thing would apply here. So at some point, Tora has to actually eat a human being in order to actually gain energy. I can see it as clear as day. So that would obviously be a big conflict between Ushio and Tora if Tora actually ate a human being. Now, hopefully Tora wouldn't tell Ushio, but if they're going to still be a team, this weird cohesion. Like for some reason, the combination of, let's say, peanut butter and ketchup, in this case, it fucking works. So if they want to still be a team, then Tora has to eat something. He has to eat some type of human flesh because he's running low on energy. And that's really it. Oh, aside from the fact that also, yeah, we're not done yet. The fact that Inoue herself has actually seen Tora and, Ushio, talk and communicate. So she's full-blown aware of demons now. I don't know if they're going to tell Nakamura. I'm not too sure. Because Nakamura, she's seen demons too. But I don't know if Inoue or Ushio are going to tell Nakamura about Tora's existence. I don't know. And honestly, at some point, she's going to find out. But, again, it's the matter of, are they going to tell her themselves? Or will it just happen? Well, she'll just see Tora one day and be like, what the fuck is this thing? So, who knows? But overall, the episode, I think, is actually a pretty good episode. And I'm going to leave that a good plus, and I will see you guys and gals later. So, King Lightning, as always, rate the video. It is not that goddamn hard. Trust me. You have this thing called a mouse, right? Yeah. And what you do with the mouse is you click either like or dislike. So, basically, you use it. And, of course, comment, subscribe. Have a nice goddamn day.